maybe I would have actually put it out there that I also act movies. Maybe I should have pushed that out early enough because no one knew I could act until this year.
Mm,
Like back in Nigeria, I used to act. I featured in some short movies and just one feature length film.
mm.
But since I moved to the US, I just like focused on stand-up comedy and
Comedy.
event
Yeah.
hosting.
Mm,
Stand-up comedy and event hosting only. I just focused on that. No one knew about my acting career at all until this year.
mm.
No one even knew I could write a stage play until they came to my show and they watched the stage play that I
Yeah.
wrote and
Mm,
I directed, but I didn't act in it. It was
mm,
after the show that people now saw me on a movie set and then saw me on another movie set and then saw me on another movie set.
mm,
Because I think it's that I planned it. I won't say I planned it that way to like hide that part of me, but the opportunity
mm.
just did not come.
It did not show
And
up.
I did not push, I didn't push the, should I say, portfolio. I didn't push that portfolio out.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another edition of Beyond Borders podcast, where we talk about bold dreams and the people making it happen. Today, I have with me Tosin Opaleke, fine boy, as you can see, and he's a comedian. So I hope to have my ribs cracked as we have the conversation. Tosin, I like to let you know that one of my favorite set of people on earth are comedians, from Matt Rife to Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, Gabriel Iglesias, if that's the best right way to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Fluffy.
Yeah.
Who else? Kevin Hart, Trevor Noah.
Never
Very
know.
smart people because it takes intelligence to be funny, to
Yeah.
see funny things even in sadness, even in
Inside.
chaos, even in trauma, to see what can make people laugh. I see that as a very beautiful attribute to have. So yeah, so you fall in the category of people that I really, really do like. So
Oh, I
yeah, tell
appreciate
us
it.
about you, Tosin. What's up? What's up with you? How you doing?
I'm very well.
Mhm.
Firstly, thank you for the invitation
Yes, sir.
to come and share my story with your audience. My
Hmm.
name is Tosin Opaleke. I'm Nigerian. I'm proud to be one.
Yes, sir.
From the best tribe in Nigeria, that which is Yoruba. We are the best. Whatever it is you heard about Yoruba men, it's just propaganda.
You see,
It's
they won't
propaganda.
let us rest. You know what I mean?
It's not bad press, but it's fine.
It's bad press. And some people are not even helping matters, making it all difficult to prove
No,
wrong. Right. So, how long have you been in the US and why did you come here?
I've been in the US now almost 2 years.
Hmm.
I specifically arrived on the 31st of December. Yeah, 31st December
2022.
2022.
You
Yes.
didn't even wait for New Year, bro.
No, I crossed immigration into the New Year.
Wow.
I said Happy New Year to the US flag at the
Wow.
airport. Yeah,
That's
so
so why the move?
so I've always wanted to come to the US
Hmm.
since I got exposed to the Daily Show, and that was way back in 2012.
Wow.
Way back in 2012, I got
That was
exposed
even
to
before
the Daily
Trevor
Show.
Noah.
That was before Trevor Noah, yes. So I started watching the Daily Show, and at that time we didn't have anything like political comedy in Nigeria at the time. There was
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
like that.
Even
So I got
still.
interested, even till now. We had
Hmm.
something close to it
It's
with
just like
Oscar
stand-up comedians
stuff.
saying stuff on stage,
Yeah,
not consistent
not
TV.
a consistent TV show. So at the time I got exposed to the Daily Show. That was the year I also knew about Kevin Hart. That was the year I'd known Dave Chappelle, but I didn't know him as a comedian. I only knew him as an actor. I'd known about Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence, all of them,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I did not know them as stand-up comedians. I just knew them as actors. But
Mm.
2012 was when I started knowing about the comedy industry in the US, and then I got really interested, and I kept saying it that hey, one day I will move to the US.
Mm.
By 2015, when Trevor Noah became the host of The
The
Daily
host.
Show, I
Yeah.
became more interested, wanting to come, even applied for an internship.
Mm.
apply for an internship to be a writer on the Daily Show, which I did
Really?
get. Yeah,
You got it.
I got it, and I was supposed to come 2019, but life happened. So I did not go for that visa interview for personal reasons. I didn't go for that
Wow.
visa interview. I stopped thinking about the US between 2019 and 2022. In 2022, the drive to
I'm so
come back.
interested in that story. You decided not to go to the interview. What?
Then the drive, the interest to come to the US started again
Hmm.
around September of 2022, and I just I had a discussion with my father, and
Hmm.
my dad just encouraged me. Was like, try it, push for it, and I did push for it, and I traveled in December.
Wow.
Funny story. I did my visa interview on the 23rd of December 2022. I traveled 7 days after. On the 30th, I left Nigeria.
So again, you did your interview
I
on
did my
the
interview on the 23rd of December. I traveled on the 30th of December.
what kind of visa was it? Like, how? How did you?
I'd rather not mention the category because it's private.
Ooh.
But I did my interview. They granted it. The US will tell you yes or no immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
they say yes,
Oh,
and you
okay.
get your passport back in 4 days. And
Hmm.
4 business days later, I picked up my passport and I traveled there. I picked up my
Hmm.
passport like 7 a.m. and I traveled around 1 p.m.
What?
Yeah, around 1 p.m. because I was done.
Wow.
I was done
You know,
then.
one of the reasons we that I started this is to just show people some of the ways. I was reading yesterday. I found out about the O1 like visa category,
Yeah.
which is for business people and investors. That
Uh-huh.
if you have some amount of money that you are willing to
To
invest,
invest in
in the
it.
US, they would give you, a visa.
Yeah.
So I've been on the lookout for several kinds of visa category for people who are outside of the US and would like to come in Africa, in Asia, in Mexico, all of these places that are what we call emerging markets
Yeah.
that are not so big like the Western UK, US, Europe, and Canada, which is so one of the reasons I started this is to show them, oh, you can go through this route. It's not always
Yeah.
through school or through work or through
It's true.
family or all of these things. So even though I would have loved to hear that category, but for privacy sake, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
For private.
So when you got here, what was the like the first and biggest culture shock that you got? Like, oh my god, you people do this here?
Oh yeah. So my bags. I had 3 bags, and one bag was missing. Right. Yeah, one bag was missing. I wasn't at my destination yet, and they tracked the bag and they said, "Oh, the bag is still in Chicago Airport." And I was at that point I was in Memphis, and I wanted to go to Jonesboro, Arkansas, before
Mm,
coming to Dallas. And
mm.
they were like, "Just give us your final destination, and we'll make sure the bag gets there for you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Excuse me." They
Excuse
said,
me,
"No, don't
what?
worry. Your bag will be waiting for you in Dallas. Just give us the address of the house that will make sure your bag gets there before you." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Let me wait to get my bag." They said, "No, no, no. If you want to wait at the airport, that means you have to wait till tomorrow morning to get your
Mm.
bag. But you can actually just go to Jonesboro, go do whatever you want to do. Before you get to Dallas, you meet your bag at your final destination." And the Nigerian in me
Say no.
stayed overnight at that
I
airport
don't
in
know what
Memphis.
are you talking
Like,
about.
I should be going, my bag will meet me. I said, no, I'll wait. So I
Mm-mm.
actually did stay over at the
Mm.
airport to receive my bag by
Wow.
myself before I continued my journey. That was my first culture shock. If I say the second culture shock that happened within that period was cars were waiting for me to cross the road, which I did not. Like, I'd traveled before I came to the US. I think I've been to damn near 11 countries,
Mm.
and the only place where I've experienced zebra crossing was in Dubai. Every other
Mm.
place I've gone to, nobody
Nobody
respects
cares
it.
about you.
So the US was more like the pedestrians actually own the road.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I was just standing and the car just stopped. So still at the airport that day, I just wanted to, and the car stopped. I was like, "Go ahead, sir." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I just crossed. Yeah,
Wow.
those are like the first two culture shocks that I had within
Hmm.
like my first 2 hours in the US.
First 2 hours, immediately
Yeah,
you got in. They're already shifting your mind to say, no, you are a human being in this place.
yeah,
Especially for someone who used to live in Lagos. You come here and you find people waiting for you, waiting on you, opening the door for you. Maybe they hit you and they say, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm
ready to
sorry,"
hop.
and you are leaving a hall. They say, "Have a good one." People are
Mm.
nice in this place.
I don't understand what a good one meant. I had to ask because everywhere I go and I'm doing, oh, have a nice day. Oh, thank you very much. And all I'm hearing is have a good one. What is have a good one? Say what? That's them saying bye.
Yeah,
That's
saying bye. Yeah, yeah.
why can't you
So,
just say bye? But
mhm.
they wouldn't. They just have a
For
good
you, oh, would you finish what you're saying?
no problem. Yeah.
Okay, okay. For you as a comedian, how has it been breaking into the community here?
So it was quite easy for me to break
Mm,
into the industry here because I came prepared.
mm.
And yeah, I say that with no humility. I came, yeah.
I'm very proud.
I say that with no humility at all. I came in prepared because back when I was in Nigeria, even my style of stand-up comedy
Hmm,
was like since 2012, I had been mirroring everything that they were doing in the US. I was doing
hmm,
it back then in Nigeria, and I wasn't even resident in Lagos. I
hmm,
grew up in Ilorin, Kwara State.
hmm,
Ilorin is one of those cities that you really don't hear much about,
mhm,
but a
mhm,
lot
mhm.
is happening in Ilorin. So I grew
Yeah,
up in
yeah.
Ilorin over there, and I've been doing the old American style of stand-up comedy back there. I never speak pidgin when I'm either hosting events or doing stand-up comedy. I'm always speaking straight and simple English, so anyone
Mm.
can understand me.
Yes, sir.
And I also grew up in a household where education is like really important
Mm-hmm,
and use of English. Like I speak Yoruba very well,
mm-hmm.
but then I speak English really well as well. So when I'm speaking to anyone, it's easy for them to understand
Understand
me.
what you're
I don't
saying?
have
Yeah.
that thick Nigerian accent or thick Yoruba accent where you
Hmm,
say, "How are you?"
hmm.
I really don't have all of that. So it was
All
easy
of that.
for the audience here to like understand me.
Hmm,
And because I have back home, I have an advertising agency. It's headquartered back in Nigeria and also functioning here.
hmm.
The whole plugging into social media, knowing when to advertise, knowing what hashtags to use to like push my brand,
Yeah.
putting together a portfolio to send out to comedy clubs. All of that like came in very, very handy
Hmm.
for me. So it was easy for me to like push myself. The first stand-up comedy performance I did in the US, I was headlining the show,
Ooh,
and it's just
nice.
because I branded myself and said, "Hey, I'm coming. I just moved here from Nigeria. This is what I've done.
Hmm.
Where I'm coming from. I'm a big shot
Correct.
in my city over there. I have three comedy specials. I send them samples of what to watch. So
Ooh.
when they watch, they're like, oh, this is someone coming from Africa because
Hmm.
they categorize all of us as Africans. Oh, this is someone coming from Africa, and he has this kind of content. He can stand in front of our audience.
Yes, sir.
And so they gave me a show to headline. My first performance, I headlined the show, and that's how I started
I
getting
love it.
more bookings.
I love it. So, how has it been so far? Being a comedian or should I say, an African comedian in the US? How has it been?
It's been good. They get more receptive when they can understand you well. When the
Hmm.
audience don't have to like, "Oh, what did he say?" If they don't have to do that, if they don't have to second guess what they're hearing, they are very
Hmm.
receptive. Okay, this is an
Hmm.
African who has broken the norm. When I'm telling my jokes, I'm not shitting on Africa. I'm not coming to tell you, oh, we jump trees.
Hmm.
When I
Hmm.
talk about back home, I'm saying the good things about it. If I thought I want to compare, I may just compare like the ridiculous things, but then I'll make I'll actually make Africa seem superior to them. Give
Hmm.
you a
Hmm.
very give you an example. There was this
Yeah.
joke I did at Backdoor Comedy Club, and it was the morning after. This was sometime like October of last year. There was this news that broke out that you should only call 911 when you have like grade 4 emergency,
Hmm.
like when there's like if it's domestic violence, don't call 911 immediately. You should call another number, stuff like that. So only when
Wow.
like weapons are
Hmm.
involved, that's when you should call 911. So when I heard that news, I saw it on social media. The next day when I went to the comedy club, what I said was, "You guys here are privileged that you even have your police phone number." I said in Nigeria, where I come from, when you're in trouble, you don't even know the phone number. You call your neighbors, and your neighbors will come outside
Exactly.
to your rescue immediately. When you sit down and you think about that, when you call
Hmm.
911, 911 will take like 3 minutes or 4 minutes to
Hmm.
get to you.
Mm-hmm.
But we back there in Nigeria, when you call your neighbor is just right next door. They'll bust in immediately and help you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those are the kind of jokes that I would do if I really want to like talk about home and compare there. I'll actually just paint scenarios that shows that life is easier over there.
Mm.
Another such example I can give was I did this at my comedy special recording at Bishop Arts Theatre, which was a sold
Mm.
out show. Glory to God.
There's a guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I did a comparison of education,
Mm.
right? Where I said, oh, I went to Harvard University
Mm.
to make inquiries. Actually, I did not study there. I went to Harvard University and they told me to get an MBA to cost me like $120,000.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, 120,000? Say yes. I said, okay. How am I supposed to pay such amounts? And the lady told me you can get student loan. I'm like, student loan? She said yes. I say, did you get student loan? She said yes, I got $80,000 student loan. I said, what did you study? She said English language. I'm like, you're $80,000 in debt to get an English degree. I learned English for free in Nigeria, and we speak better English than them here. You know, and they're hearing things like, "I'm finna go to the show." What's finna? There's no finna. Now I compared it and said, back home, I have a BSc degree in mass communication.
Mm.
My average school fees was 22,000 per session. Twenty two
Mm.
thousand is like $15.
Yes, yes.
Everything I spent 4 years in school wasn't
Maybe
up
now
to two
100.
hundred dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a degree. And whoever studies mass communication in the US and me who studied a $200 degree back
Mm.
home, both of us can get employed in the same organization.
Yes.
So those are the kind of jokes that I would do to compare the living here and then the way we live back there to tell them like, see, life is actually much more better over
Mm-hmm.
there. Life is just safer here, sure.
Yeah, yeah. There was even a post I saw on Instagram where somebody who used to live in the US then relocated to Thailand and he was shouting, "Oh, capitalism in the US is gonna kill somebody." All the things that they would require you to do to have in the US, none of such. He
None
said
of
his
that.
light bill was what, $15 for a month. He said his, water bill, it was just listing them and they were like a fraction of what you would pay in the US for those things. I was like, oh my God. It was just screaming.
I,
It
I
was,
can relate to it.
Hmm.
I totally can
So,
relate to it.
what, I mean, how have you like created that community around yourself of maybe Nigerians or other Africans that has like helped you to, one of the things that people would say when you are relocating from Nigeria is that when you relocate, it becomes boring. Like there's no, like Lagos is beginning to happen right now.
Yeah,
That's what they call dirty December.
that's December.
So for a lot of people, it won't happen like that,
Right.
especially if you are here or if you do not have friends yet or what have you. But you've been here over 2 years or about to be 2 years. How have you been able to create that community around yourself that makes it easy for you to blend, or did you just, flow with with white folks? Do you have Nigeria? Those kind of conversation. How have you been able to like find a
Right people.
community of people, around yourself that helps you?
So what I did was direct marketing. I was marketing myself to people, going into people's DMs,
Mm,
introducing myself. Oh, this is me. I just came. This is what I do. If you
mm,
ever need an MC or a comedian for something, call at me. And
mm,
back then, when I see a flyer of maybe a church concert or a comedy show somewhere, I'm sending DMs to those people and make sure that they actually respond
Mm.
to me. And that's why I'm a big supporter of DMs because you don't
Mm.
know what opportunity will come into your DM. And I'm also always responding to DM because I want people to respond to mine as
Mm.
well, whether someone is following me or not.
Mm.
If I get a DM, I'm always responding to people. So
That's
I
great.
was sending DMs to people, introducing myself. Like even the show I did in May, which a lot of people discouraged me not to do that show because they were like, "Oh, you're not popular enough. You're not popular enough. You can't do a theater show. Keep doing comedy clubs. Even basketball is still doing comedy clubs in the US. Is not doing theaters yet." And I'm like, "Don't
Did he
worry.
relocate or is still or is
No, no,
just
no.
coming? Oh,
Everybody
okay.
comes and goes."
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, people's journeys are different in life.
Very
So
different,
the way
bro.
I'm marketing my thing, I said I'm going to sell that place out. And what I was
Mm.
doing, I was carrying my flyer, sending it to people's DMs, introducing myself to them. I want you to come to this show. You will enjoy it.
Mm.
That's how I was able to get a community around myself. Just me literally carrying my trade on my head
On your
and
head,
just
bro.
talking to people everywhere. I
Come
have
and
business
buy what I'm
cards.
selling.
Yeah, I go to churches. I go to African stores and I'll stand in front of the place with my
Mm.
business card. As people are coming in and going out, I'm introducing myself to them. I'm giving it to them. I'm not ashamed to do it because
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to get paid
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
it. So I go to different churches every Sunday. I don't have a permanent. I have a permanent church, but you would more likely see me in a random church on a Sunday afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
just standing outside in front.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name is Tosin Opaleke. I'm a professional MC and stand-up comedian. If you have an event coming up, here's my card. And I just
Love it.
keep doing that, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing it, and it's been working for me.
Mm-hmm.
Social
Mm-hmm.
media is a powerful tool. I harnessed
Yes.
social media really well
Mm.
since I arrived. Always sending DMs to people, introducing myself, and I've gotten gigs. Majority of my work of events has come from social media, and
Mm.
then referrals from people
From
that I've
people,
worked with
yeah.
as well.
Mm.
So,
Great. Great.
so
So do you have like black friends here? You
oh yeah.
know.
So
Mm.
I have friends from all over because my content is consumable to everyone.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Nigerian friends, friends from other African countries,
Mm.
African American friends, a few white folks too,
Mm.
Hispanic friends. I have friends from like all over.
Mm.
Really just created that community for myself.
Great. So, if you would do anything differently over the last 2 years, maybe something you did and you were like, "Oof, I shouldn't have done that."
Hmm.
If you would do anything differently at all, what would that be?
What would I have done different? That question is tough because it takes me a long time to make decisions.
Hmm.
So before I would make any decision, I'm like sure of it. I can be spontaneous, but I'm always like really, really sure before I do anything. So
Hmm.
let me 30 seconds to think about it. What's something I would have wanted to do differently? I think I like the flow I think I like the flow of
Hmm.
how my journey has been in
As
the
to
US
when?
so far. Hmm. Maybe I would have
Okay.
maybe I would have actually put it out there that oh I also act movies. Maybe
Hmm.
I should have pushed that out early enough because no one knew I could act until this year.
Hmm.
Like back in Nigeria, I used to act. I featured in some short movies and just one feature length film.
Hmm.
But since I moved to the US, I just like focused on stand-up comedy and
Comedy.
event
Yeah.
hosting.
Hmm.
Stand-up comedy and event hosting only. I just focused on that. No one knew about my acting career at all until this year.
Hmm.
No one even knew I could write a stage play until they came to my show and they watched the stage play that
Big
I
play.
wrote and
Hmm.
I directed, but I didn't act in it. It was
Hmm.
after the show that people now saw me on a movie set, and then saw me on another movie set, and then saw me on another movie set.
Hmm.
Because I think it's that I had planned it. I won't say I planned it that way to like hide that part of me, but the opportunity
Hmm.
just did not come,
It did not show
and
up. Hmm.
I didn't push the should I say portfolio. I didn't push that portfolio out.
Hmm.
So that's the only
Now,
thing I would have done
another
different.
form of that question is what is that thing that you have achieved that you are so proud of, but in one way or another, you are not given enough credit for? You are so
That
proud of
I'm not giving myself enough credit, or people are not giving me credit for
people.
it.
You've achieved it, you are proud of it, meaning you give yourself credit, like, oh, more, you do this one. But people are not giving enough credit for that thing.
Ah, so once I've given myself credit for something, then I don't care
Everybody
what any
can.
other person. It's like it's like someone telling me you look nice, and I respond with, "Oh, I know."
Yeah, I know.
Like, look at myself in the mirror before coming out. Oh, that's a nice suit. Yeah, that's why I bought it. So
You are not
once I,
helping Yoruba boys matter. I hope you know.
I know, like once I've certified something good already
Mhm.
for myself, like when people be like, "Ah, when you crack a joke and people laugh, that there's this smirk on your face," and I'm like, "Hey, I know the joke is going to be fun. That's why I said it. I'd rehearsed it. I'd laughed. I'd tested the joke with some people already. So when I'm
Mhm.
saying it on the stage, I already know the feedback that I'll get.
Mhm.
God forbid, will I say a joke that will come back to me void? Never. My joke is like the word of God. It will go, it will
You
fulfill its
should do the
purpose.
thing.
It will do the work
You perform that which it was sent out to.
it has to do it. So yeah, once I've seen something and I've created myself for it, I really do not really care about
Mm.
people. Imposter syndrome is something that I had already battled when I was a teenager. Back then,
Mm.
I battled imposter syndrome, and mainly I didn't really have like a mentor, but I had
Mm.
role models that I had access to. No one actively mentored me into who I am today.
Mm.
Right. But I had role models that and senior colleagues that I had a bit of access to that I can just reach out to and just ask a question. And got so good, got so kind. Those people actually made me feel comfortable enough to see me as a junior colleague,
Mm.
saw me as a junior colleague who had potential. Few times they would discourage me and tell me that you are too ambitious. Oh, don't try this. If no one has done this thing before, don't do it. And I'm like, and if I fail, is it your money? I'm not the one that is saving up to do this thing. Let me save up, do my thing. And
Mm.
more often than not, it will be
It
successful. And
goes
they'll be
well.
like, oh,
Mm.
wow. They say, next time, next time, next time, we'll support you. And then they never would.
Mm.
So I really do not care for credit from people because the history is there, the track record is there.
Mm.
Whenever people be asking, "Oh, so what have you done?" And if the person is not asking me in a condescending manner, I just ask, I said, just Google me. Then you see
Mm.
results as far back as 2013, 2012,
Mm.
2011. You see results as far back as I've been getting published in Nigerian newspapers since 2009. So I'll
Mm.
tell them, I said, history is there. I said, go and ask. So I
Good.
would not
Just like
really
we said during the last election in Nigeria, I said go and verify.
go and verify,
Go and
honestly. I said,
verify. Evidence day.
history is there to tell the story. I really
Mm.
would not care much about that. But if I'll make a bold statement, though, I was one of the first comedians in Nigeria to record a comedy special.
Mm.
I was one of the first.
Is it on YouTube?
No, it's not on YouTube. It's not on
Oh,
YouTube.
okay.
So most of my content are being ported at the moment to be released much later in the future. Well, currently I have 4 comedy specials that have been recorded. 3 in
Nice.
Nigeria, 1 in the US.
That's beautiful. Thumbs up to you, bro. Now, this is why we are having this kind of conversations. Like, one of the things I plan to do with Beyond Brothers is every um, episode we have, we would then send what is it called, flowers, literal flowers to the guests to say you don't to try collect your flower. You get and this is me, this is a way of giving the verbal version of that to say you have done well, my brother. Thumbs
Okay.
up to you. Two more questions, and I'll let you have the rest of your day to yourself. One, what is that thing that you are really proud of that you have achieved now, that you would like us, maybe, people listening, to support? How can we help the Tosin Opaleke brand, so to speak? Yes.
Okay. So I would say
I mean, that's why I
embracing
asked about the YouTube. Let's go and binge watch the
umbrella.
episode. Yeah.
So I'll say they should embrace. I hope I don't get cancelled. They should embrace proper stand-up comedy shows,
Mm,
right? A lot of I thank God that there is a new wave of comedians in Nigeria, my colleagues in Nigeria, who are doing comedy,
mm,
doing stand-up comedy the proper way. The industry is shifting from comedy ceremonies because stand-up comedy is supposed to be done to an audience that is seated and watching the stage. But there was
mm-hmm,
a shift one time when they started doing comedy shows where there will be round tables, there's food and drinks, and and those people who are buying those tables will not even come on time. They'll
mm,
come late to those shows. The front will not be empty. Then people who are in the regular seats, that's where everybody will not sit. But
mm,
nowadays, when I moved to the US, I found out that they were doing the same thing here as well.
mm,
Only a few people. I'm going to give a big shout out to comedian Comedy Jedi, Edo Charles. So until I researched, I found that these were like the only people who were actually doing proper stand-up comedy shows in the US, where they're using like a theater. People are
mm,
seated and like facing the stage directly.
mm,
I wish for people to support those kind of shows. Go
mm,
there, sit down there. Even when I wanted to do my show, some people were asking me, why are you not selling tables? And I'm like, it's a theater, and I can't you put table for us in front? We want to sit on tables. I'm like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be done. It is comedy. Come, sit down and watch. If I'm
mm,
going to put an appeal out there, when people see comedians like myself who
mm.
are trying to do comedy the right way, come to our shows,
Correct.
buy our tickets. Don't ask us for free tickets. Buy our tickets. Come
Correct.
to our shows. If we come to
Correct.
you to ask for sponsorship, if you
Mm.
can, sponsor. If you can't, refer us to someone who
Okay.
can. Don't
Correct.
just say no to
Mm.
us. They should support our shows. Share our
Correct.
content. Also,
Mm.
it's funny that you see you see people dropping comments on Tauma's posts, who is a skit maker, dropping
Mm.
comments on the Dave Chappelle Matt Rife. You see your friends dropping comments on it, and then your own content that is as good as those ones. They will not
Mhm.
drop comment. It will shock you that by the time you post this podcast on social media, your friends
Mm.
might just come and like it or view it and
Mm-hmm.
not drop any
I'm not
comment.
coming.
But
Mm.
then you now see them dropping comments on Shannon Sharp's podcast. I'm like,
Podcast.
well, we're saying almost the same thing. So
Mm.
let's support our own people when we see them doing stuff, as long as it's not illegal.
Mm.
Whatever it is
Mm.
that you feel someone is doing, they should try and support
Show
us
off for
and book
them.
us
Yeah.
for events also and pay us well.
Pay us well.
They
Yeah.
pay us
Yeah.
well. Pay us well.
That's right. So a bit to the um potential immigrants, people who would like to come. Do you have any word for them?
Come prepared.
Mm.
Come prepared. Have a plan, basically. Although you have to amend your plans when you get here, it might not be what you're expecting, but actually have a plan. Have a 3-step plan, have a 5-step plan. Say, oh, when I come in, this is what I want to do first. And
Mm.
then if it doesn't work, this is my plan B. And then once you get that, for example, I started with stand-up comedy when I came in. I did stand-up comedy in March, in April, and then I did event hosting in May.
Mm.
After event hosting in May, I did event hosting May, June, July. I went full into stand-up comedy again, and then event hosting continued coming. So it's more
Mm.
like you're opening an onion. So introduce
Layers
one
and
part of
layers.
yourself first. When they
Mm.
see it or they like it and they're patronizing that, open another side of you. So I think
Mm.
that's what happened with me, event hosting and then acting career also. So it's more
Mm.
like I just opened this part when this one became profitable. I opened this other part, and then I brought that acting. So you should have a
Mm.
plan. Don't come all out at once. Have a plan. And if you're in the creative industry, trust me, there is enough market.
Mm.
there is enough market for everyone over here. There's enough customers on ground. In Dallas alone, the number of Nigerian MCs, Nigerian comedians that I know, they are up to 10. And everybody is getting booked
Hmm.
every other weekend. Everybody is getting booked. Number of Nigerian DJs that I know, they're like 10, and all of them are working every weekend. They are doing
Hmm.
gigs. So don't be scared that, what if there is no space for me? How will I find customers? All you need to do is just find two customers, and those customers will bring you more people if you have
If your
quality.
work is
What is
good, yeah,
quality?
yeah. Hmm.
People will gravitate towards you. So yeah, have a plan, have like a release plan. People in IT will understand what release plan is. Release plan, you bring out one thing first. When they like it,
Version
bring out
one,
something better.
iterate, and then
Like that,
version.
like that. Yeah. So
Hmm.
have a plan.
Great, great. So, what should we expect, from Tosin Opaleke, the brand, now over the next couple of months and years?
Well, over the next couple of months, I'm writing a new comedy special. I
Yes,
started
sir.
writing that 2 months
I hope I
ago.
get an invitation to see it live.
Yeah, I'll send
Um,
you an invitation with
yes,
a
yes.
ticket inside
They will pay. Yeah,
that you pay for.
small thing.
But yeah,
I
so I
might
started
even
writing.
bring my wife also because we have family in Dallas, so can just come
Okay,
and attend the show.
that's
Yeah.
great. That's
Hmm.
great. So yeah, I have a comedy special that I started writing, and it will be filming in March of
Okay.
next year, March 2025.
Ooh,
Will
she's
you be
gonna
out
be
of
in Nigeria.
town?
She's
You'll be
gonna
in
be in
Nigeria.
Nigeria, but I'll be in town. I'll be in
Okay.
town.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and also African Comedy Club continues. Wait, okay. I started an African Comedy Club in Dallas in March. Yes,
Okay.
March of this year. Every
How
last
does that
Sunday.
run?
So I started it in my living room in an apartment.
Mm.
Yes. So I did it in the living room from March, April, May, and then I took a break from June, July, August, and I continued again. Continued again October. Yeah, so we did
Okay.
October, we did November, and then we still do December. It's on the last Sunday of every month, and it's only African comedians that are
Oh,
bringing on
right.
that platform to perform, and we talk strictly on Africa. So if a South Sudanese comedian is coming out, it's talking about life back in South Sudanese. If a Cameroonian comedian is coming out, he's talking about life back in Cameroon. And the goal of that is to remind people of where they're coming from.
Coming from, I love
Like,
it.
don't get too Americanized. Even if you become an American citizen,
Yeah.
don't forget that you're
Don't forget
first
where you're coming
Cameroonian,
from. Yeah, I
you're
love that.
first South Sudanese. Your people are still there fighting war. Don't forget where you're coming from. Keep them in your
Mm,
prayers.
mm, mm.
We're able to like laugh at, don't not laugh at our pains, but laugh over them. Laugh over
I
them.
mean,
That's
Kevin Hart has the title of that.
laugh at my
Like that's
pain.
how that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this guy is not
So,
serious. I was talking, traumatic stuff, and people.
traumatic stuff, but we laugh.
I
So,
mean, and that is very important in life. The moment you're able to laugh at yourself, then there's nothing you will not be able to overcome. If something, so it's just like a communication to your brain. And I get technical a bit
right.
more. If something difficult happens, something really chaotic happens, and you panic, you freak out about it, you're telling your brain, oh, this problem is difficult. And then your
Yeah.
brain takes that message, that subconscious message from you, and go into a spiral, right? But if something very heartbreaking happens and you laugh at it, what you are communicating with your brain is, it's not that difficult. It's not
It's
that
not
deep.
that difficult.
It's not that.
Right.
It's not a big deal. And if you take that message, that subconscious message, and act with it, and give you ways on how to release that stress or relieve yourself of that, burden of that trauma. So laughing about, I love comedians to the uttermost. I give myself, like, I call it laugh breaks. When I'm working and it's getting really tedious, I just pause, go on one of my favorite comedians and watch their stuff, and I laugh. I intentionally laugh
Just
because
laugh.
life will throw you stuff. So
Yes, it
laughing,
would.
that is so good. So the audience is it free for them to come? Is it paid? Where does it happen in Dallas?
So at the moment it happens at Icon Restaurant because the people who started coming became like too much, and
Mm.
so I had to like branch it out. and it became at first when I started the audience was purely Africans because
Mm,
it was more like, oh, I'm doing this thing, it's for Africans, it's by Africans, so it was
mm,
like 50 mostly Africans that were coming. But October, the October one we did, the November one was even partnered with another brand, our piano brand, and that one was even a night show,
mm,
and the Icon restaurant was like
mm,
packed full that night, and that one was even mixed. So we had Africans, we had Americans in the audience. The place
mm.
was a really good show, and we're looking forward to doing the same thing again this December
Lovely.
also. And
Ah, that's
the
great. Am I
tickets,
come for that?
yeah, the tickets to enter that is just $20.
Okay.
It's $20 flat rate.
Oh, in Dallas, right?
Yeah,
Great.
Richardson. Icon
Okay.
restaurant is in Richardson. It's just like 19 minutes from Dallas.
Okay. Okay. Great. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
It's
you for
been
having me.
wonderful having you. It's been really insightful listening to you, really encouraging to hear of your story. And then,
Thank you.
a good time to also bond with your Nigerian brother. So
Mhm.
nice to have you here. Thank you for gracing us with
Thank
your
you.
presence.
Let me
Um,
give you an exclusive.
okay.
Let me give you an exclusive. So at the beginning, I mentioned that I'd gotten, I was supposed to come 2019
Hmm.
and did not leave Nigeria for a personal reason. So the personal reason was a relationship I was in at the time. Yeah, I was in a relationship, and the person I was with at the time is based in the UK.
Mm,
Family also based in the UK, and I was like fresh out of university at the time,
mm.
and the family told me that, oh, if you're going to be serious with our daughter, once she's done with school, she's coming back home as well, so you should be thinking of moving to the UK, not the US. And I was in love. My parents could not stop me, so I didn't come. And that relationship ended in 2022. So that was the motivation. Like, I'm done.
Yo, me Shimo.
I packed
Wow.
my bags. I left. I that was the motivation that I needed. Yeah, despite
Wow.
having a business that is flourishing in Nigeria. I
Mm,
mean, I came in here, settled the business here as well,
mm,
and the agency is working both ways. But
mm.
the primary reason why I kind of left in 2022 was breakfast. But that's the best. It's the sweetest food ever. No, breakfast is when they give you food later.
Last,
I have
last.
breakfast.
Now everybody chop
Everybody chop that breakfast. And that breakfast is the
Oh
most
my God.
amazing. Give me a buffet. Men go
Jigga.
say I prepare a table.
Table before.
Send us- that's what God did for me in the
Oh
US.
my
Thank God
God.
for
That is a nice exclusive.
So, yeah, I've never said it publicly before. I've done bits and bits of it at some shows that I've performed at, but this is the first time I'm actually like saying it out loud. Oh,
That they
yeah,
serve you breakfast.
breakfast encourage me.
Wow.
You
Good to
see,
know.
that's
Good
what
to
I
know.
think.
Wow. Are you guys still friends?
I don't know. Friend for what now? No,
Oh my
what
God.
is said may never die. You keep it
Never.
in.
And is she still in Nigeria or she didn't come
No, no,
back?
no. Back in the UK.
Look
Back
at
in the
that.
UK. But we're not in touch. I'm in a much better place right now.
Great to God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed every bit of the conversation.
Thank you for the
And I say
invitation.
good luck to you with all your endeavors, with the
Thank you.
MCing, with the stand-up comedy, and even acting. I say
Thank
good luck. I say, the best of wishes for you. I hope everything happens for you the way you want them, the way you would desire them for to happen, and with the speed that you want them to happen. Also,
you.
I hope you have the best support that you have from family and friends, and even from absolute strangers. I hope you have the best team to help you, make all of these things happen for you. So
Amen.
yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
We see very soon.
What's up?